Beautiful people, you are welcome. African Union has declared 2025 as the year for justice for Africans and people of African descent. And all of a sudden, certain things are beginning to happen, and I'm beginning to ask myself, is this a coincidence? African Union declared it, and Namibia seems to be calling it into action, while at the same time, John Dramani Mahama is trying to handle this situation through a different perspective. Let's dive into the conversation and find out what is happening. We are in Namibia, by the way, and there is a beautiful and a serious situation developing from Namibia. And at the same time, we are conflicting with some children who have benefited from the colonial era. And from Namibia, I will play the video and you will hear what these children are saying to Africans. And it is just a little bit annoying and disturbing at the same time. Now, disclaimer. First of all, this video does not promote violence. We don't promote hate here. Every information in this video is out there and can be verified. These are historical facts mixed with current event official statement. This is meant for only education purpose. All right, Namibia is demanding Germany for immediate reparation as they held their first Genocide Remembrance Day in Namibia, a day to remember a dark history of Namibia. So Namibia has held its first official Genocide Remembrance Day, honoring around 75,000 Herero and Nama people who were unalived by German colonial forces in early 1900s. This event, which happened between 1904 and 1908, are considered one of the first genocide of the 20th century. Before we get into the details, let's understand who these lost souls are. The Nama people are one of the oldest ethnic group in Southern Africa. When you check their origin and identity, the Nama are part of the Kokoi, an indigenous group native to Southern Africa. These groups are closely related to the San Bushmen. Both are considered to be some of the earliest inhabitants of Africa. Traditionally, they are pastoralists, known for raising livestock like sheep and goats in arid regions. These individuals are mostly found in Namibia, especially in the southern central part. Currently, smaller Nama community also live in southern Africa and Botswana. This group speak the language, the Nama language, also called the Kwekwe-Gwap, a language which uses the click sound. You know those individuals. And this is one of the few surviving Croatian languages. So the German during the colonial rule in Namibia, then Southwest Africa, the Nama resisted German control. Between 1904 and 1908, they joined forces with the Herero to fight against German oppression. The Herero are a Bantu-speaking people, and it is believed that they have migrated from Central Africa centuries ago. And this group are also pastoralists, just as the Nama people, traditionally known for raising cattle, valuing livestock, and this is as a key part of their economy and culture. As a result, about 10,000 plus Nama people, nearly half of their population at the time, were unalive. According to history, many of them were executed, starved, or died in concentration camps, becoming victims of what is now recognized as genocide by the Germans. Today, the Nama remain a minority in Namibia. At the same time, they continue to fight for recognition, land, right, and justice for the atrocities committed against their ancestors. Despite centuries of this history, they still maintain their culture, language, and identity. According to the history, Germany ruled Namibia, it was called Southwest Africa from 1884 to 1915. During that time, Herero and Nama people who resisted German control were either unalive or sent to harsh concentration camps, where many died from starvation, disease, and forced labor. History recorded the Herero's death around 65,000, about 80% of their population. Nama death was recorded around 10,000 plus, about 50% of their population erased, and the victims were either shot, tortured, or left to die in the Kalahari Desert, according to history provided. And this information is out there, everybody can verify. Some of the victims' skulls were taken to Germany for racist scientific experiment. These human remains were kept for decades in German hospitals, museums, and universities. This is, I think, the conversation Africans should be having. And the new development surrounding this history is that the Namibian's new president is demanding reparation. At a memorial event held in the Namibia Parliament Garden, President Netumbo Nandi, she spoke strongly about continuing the fight for justice, and she acknowledged that Germany has admitted the genocide that happened. But she said Namibia will not stop until fair reparations are agreed upon. And in word and quote, she said, "We must remain committed. We will keep negotiating with Germany until we reach a final and just agreement." End of quote. Negotiations between Namibia and Germany have been going on since 2013. Now, Germany responded. In 2021, Germany officials recognized this particular atrocity as a genocide, and they pledged to give 1.1 billion euro to support development program for the Hirori and Nama community. However, German officials stated that this payment was a gesture of reconciliation, not a compensation or legal reparation. Additionally, Germany returned some of the stolen skulls and bones to Namibia in 2011 and 2018. But many Namibians, especially the descendants of the genocide victims, feels this is not enough. They are demanding that Germany negotiate directly with them, not just with the Namibia government. I think they are suspecting the government is handling the situation in a right way. So there is also a call for global awareness, lovely people. At the memorial, Totsen Hotta, the Germany's ambassador to Namibia, expressed regret, according to the update, said, "We cannot change the past, but we must remember the pain caused. Today, we have responsibility to honor those who suffered." And many Hirori and Nama leaders believe that this genocide is not widely known internationally. The chief, Hosi, a Hirori traditional leader, said, "This genocide in question, of which we are talking about right now, happened before the Holocaust. Yet, very few people know about it." He and others are urging for better education and global recognition of what took place in Namibia, which is the reason why sharing and liking this video is necessary for us to push the narrative of Africa, to educate the public about the past history of Africa. Why May 28 was chosen for this particular celebration? Namibia chose May 28 as the National Genocide Remembrance Day because on that date in 1907, Germany agreed to shut down 8 concentration camps after international pressure. In 2023, Namibia officially made it a public holiday to ensure the memory of the victims is never forgotten. Now, the call for reparation is something which is becoming a huge debate, while African leaders are becoming loud in asking for reparation and calling for real justice. Some of the children who are enjoying the benefits of colonialism, they believe that colonialism was actually a benefit to Africa. One example is this video. Let's watch it together.
We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transportation.
Yeah. There was so much that we brought to communities. But
you see, you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonization, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, the things that Britain might have done.
But that's very much through your modern sensibilities, you might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people, where we subjugated people to our rule and sort of made them work for us. It was completely
made their countries work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What do they then? How do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in terms of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about.
We had racist ancestors.
Say it.
But Bev,
But I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
Well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely...
Of course there were.
So you benefits to us.
I don't think there were.
There were benefits to us.
A lot of those countries did not, Jonathan, those countries...
It absolutely does.
Those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people in positions of power
of course they
to
had
do this.
creativity
No,
in
they
those
didn't.
countries. They just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different.
So it's okay to live without education, and it's okay to live without a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
medicine we brought to
precisely what we have.
Yes.
I don't know. Look, I don't know why we're even.
So this is it. But according to some people on the panel, there were some racist individual on the panel, they believe that colonialism benefited us, giving us sanitation, transportation, education. The man was trying to even educate her that, look, we have our education. We have our education, just that it wasn't your education. We have our sanitation. When you come about sanitation, I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, we were having our system here before you came. So, I don't know. This is what they are saying. I don't want to go there. So this is the opinion of some people and the belief that colonialism actually benefited us. Now, the other side of the story is that while most African leaders are focusing on physical cash as reparation, John Dramani Mahama, the president of Ghana, does not believe in physical cash. And this is what he has to say when it comes to the issue of reparation.
Fellow Africans, esteemed leaders, brothers and sisters of the African continent, it is with great honor that I address you today on the occasion of Africa Day 2025. As we gather in Addis Ababa and connect across our vast continent and beyond, we celebrate our resilience, our rich heritage, and our unwavering spirit. This year, our celebration is particularly significant. The African Union has declared 2025 as the year for justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. As the AU champion for this critical cause, I'm deeply committed to working with you all to achieve this vital objective. For too long, the legacy of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism has cast a long shadow on the lives and progress of Africans and people of African descent. These historical injustices have left deep scars. Reparations are not merely about financial compensation. They are about acknowledging the profound and enduring damage inflicted upon our people. They are about confronting the uncomfortable truths of our past and taking concrete steps to rectify these wrongs. We seek justice, justice that encompasses a comprehensive range of measures, including official and unequivocal apologies from the nations and institutions responsible for perpetrating these historical injustices, addressing the crippling debt burden that continues to stifle economic growth in many African nations, a direct consequence of exploitation and unfair trade practices, providing resources and expertise to empower African nations to achieve sustainable development and participate fully in the global economy, returning stolen artifacts and cultural treasures that rightfully belong to our heritage, investing in the educational initiatives to promote a deeper understanding of African history, culture, and contributions to the world. This is not a simple task. It requires courage, determination, and a unified front. It requires us to engage in meaningful dialogue with those responsible and to advocate tirelessly for our rights. I call upon my colleague African leaders, civil society organizations, and youth groups, and members of the diaspora to join hands in this important endeavor. Let us work together to build a future where justice prevails, where the wounds of the past are healed, and where the potential of every African and person of African descent is fully realized.
So that is the president of Ghana. Lovely people. Personally, asking for reparation, the issue of reparation, asking for reparation to me is like trying to feed on the carcass of our ancestors, because nothing in the world, no amount of money, no amount of nothing can pay for a life lost. Asking reparation is a direct insult to our ancestors. According to me, what we need to do is to focus on our continent to fulfill and complete the struggle of our forefathers, not to abandon their struggle, asking for reparation. What are they going to repair? Nothing can be repaired. The damage is already done. Let's focus on ourselves, complete the struggle of our forefathers. This is my thought. I don't know about your thought, but let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and to support us, all right? Respect.